Walama. My name is Jashar. We're at the house of Sherman. I represent again the Taberbernacle Congregation of Prayer and the Israelite Organization of Unity that's based out of Mount Zion. The Taberbernacle Congregation of Prayer is that tabernacle we speak of when we speak of Exodus chapter 25, Exodus chapters 15 through 25. That tent that was placed outside of the camp, which end up in the future times, those things in that tent, the outside tabernacle Congregation of Prayer, being placed inside of the fort of the tabernacle of David that was conquered by David of the Jebusites. And then we got the Y.O.U organization, the Israelite Organization of Unity. And just to read briefly what this is, just to tell you a little bit about what this is. I'm going to be expounding on a few of these things. I'm going to be bringing out scripture of geographically how this is the Mount Zion. We're going to be standing for the right as our people are consistently slaughtered. You see what I'm saying? As our people are consistently going through the turmoils to the four corners of the earth and still yet asking the question of why. So the Israelite Organization of Unity, he say, please receive Joshua Moriel as a representative of the Y.O.U organization with all power and privileges to start a Y.O.U chapter within the land of Israel. So this was what was presented to Ben Ami during that time when he brought our people 40 years in the wilderness of desolation. You see what I'm saying? This is what happened during the time of our brother, rest in peace be to his soul, but that happened to our false prophet brother, Ben Ami, who didn't bring our people to the Mount Zion. And may I mention, again, the tabernacle, we have the Taberbernacle Congregation of Prayer, you see, as I myself also am a minister, and I choose faithfully with all my heart to stand as one of the disciples of Yeshua, whose feet shall touch the Mount of Olives in this very time that we are approaching. Okay? 501c3 organization based out of the Mount Zion and out of the Mount of Olives, Arad, Israel, the Mount of the Jebusites. Okay? I'm going to touch a few things. Like I was saying before. My last video, I'm gonna start getting back in the streets because it's not a lot of us at all that know right now. You know, right now we are in the beginning times of the dispensation of the Mount Zion. We are in the beginning times of the revelation in the Mount Zion, where the southern kingdom still has to come. The southern kingdom of Judah still has to come, and they haven't all came yet because we are still in the beginning. But as I was speaking about, it's going to be all types of people and all types of nations that's going to come to the Mount Zion to pray before their God, before their Ala'i, Fa'i Ala'i. And we're going to be Yahweh Allah, Yahuwah Allah, Yahweh Allah. They're one. It's not a separation, they're one. So what I'm doing over here in the States, we got our elder Joshua Moriel of the descendants of Joshua over there in the Mount Olives as the watchman. And then we have certain brothers that go up there that's faithful to her, to the Mount Zion, that come back and give how you're supposed to keep the Torah. That you can't keep the Torah over here in the Americas, but you have to keep the Torah. You have to keep the Passover, the Pentecost, the first fruits. You have to keep the tabernacles before the Mount Zion. And this man, Louis Farrakan, which is my brother, my Muslim brother, because I myself, as I say it again, I'm waiting for my fids in the mail. I'm waiting for my ancient Hebrew Torah scrolls in the mail, so that I may show our brothers, as it says in Surah chapter 5 and verse 44 through 47 in the Quran, that a real Muslim is supposed to keep the Torah. And as it also mentions how real Muslims keep the Torah and the Injil, and the Gospels, in other words. Louis Farrakan, my brother, I was out there at the Joe Louis Arena on Sunday of February 19th, 2017. I was out there, baby. And I was screaming out loud by myself how you need to come to Mount Zion if y'all are recognized as the Israelites. We about to get into scripture, and we're going to come through verses of the Quran and a realization and the differentiation between the Mecca and the becca. It's important if you recognize yourself as a Muslim. This also goes for the Hebrews also. As I said formerly, this is not just about the Israelites, but this is about, well, yes, this is mainly about the Israelites, but the other nations are going to outnumber the Israelites. As it is written, it's going to be a multitude of the Gentiles that no man can number. Okay. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off in the Quran. When I left off in the Quran, I'm gonna go to those scriptures and those precepts where I left off in the Quran. And what I was showing last time on the 5th new moon, I think this is the second day. Wait a minute. Yeah, I believe this is the second night of the new moon, from the new moon of the 5th month, according to the watchmen of Mount Zion that we have in Mount Zion right now. It's them are my colleagues. It's them are my colleagues over there, my brothers. Stay strong. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And let's see. We're going to go to the Quran and we're going to pick up where we left off so I can more thoroughly show you and I can more thoroughly hit these precepts as, you know, of a majority. I give a special thanks to our brothers of the house of David also. Again, special thanks to my brother and a good welcoming peace in the name of Yeshua, Emmanuel, to my brother Ashura ben Yisrael, brothers that help in bringing our people together. I give a special thanks to the house of David and a lot of my brothers from HOR. I even give thanks to a lot of my brothers from the Mount Zion. Okay, I give thanks to my brothers from Chosen Seed. We're all one. If we recognize Yahweh Allah as our true and the Almighty, that we have to understand it's no differentiation between this camp and that camp. When the Most High talk about the people of Israel, it's no, he's talking to one almost as if it were one person. And we got to get back to that. But the government, my people, is going to be coming from the Mount Zion. Now, before I get into this Quran, I want to briefly show you. I have my own copy that I made according to the Torah. According to the Torah, you're supposed to make your own copy of the Torah scrolls. I mean, you're supposed to make your own copy of the Torah. So here we go. I got the 5-pointed star, according to the archaeology that was found in the Mount Zion, along with the name, the Yod, the He, the Y, the He that was found in the Mount Zion, along with the name. On the name, it had the 5-pointed star of David. And according to the Testament of Solomon, it was the 5-pointed star of David. Okay, so I have my piece right here. Okay, a little something fell that, you know, I personally read from this. Okay, all of it, it has no words in it, as you can see, and as I have to mention, because it's going to eventually come out, that I'm one of the ones and the holders of the actual Old Borrow language. The Old Borrow language. We're not talking about the Aramaic Hebrew, but the house of Sherman possessed that old Old Borrow language. Okay, that was received, blessed be his soul, from the house of Joshua. From the Amoriel family. Again, blessed be their souls in the watchmen in the Mount Zion. Okay. So I'm one of the holders of this language, and I love it joyfully and dearfully. Okay, it's gonna come a time where our people are gonna come, and there's gonna be a lot of confusion, but that confusion ain't gonna be there for long. Because as long as I'm here and I'm reading this language, we're going to come out of the Old Borrow, not the Aramaic Hebrew, the Babylon Hebrew today, that was translated and transliterated from the Old Borrow into Nebuchadnezzar, Jewish Nebuchadnezzar's language, which was the Aramaic Hebrew. Okay, you see. So I just wanted to bring that out there. Every man should have his own copy of his own Torah scrolls right here that I, took the words out because I could read it without the words. Okay, so I'm a reader and I'm a translator of the Old Borrow, the ancient Old Borrow, the Phoenician Old Borrow. It was translated and transliterated from Ezra the prophet during the time of the Babylonian siege. Okay, but as we was talking about on the 5th new moon, we're going to talk about the difference and the distinguishment of the Mecca that's mentioned in the Quran. It relates to the scriptures, it relates to the Injil and the gospel of Yeshua. We're going to talk about the Becca that's right next to the Mount Zion, how it's in the Quran, how it's a distinguishment between the Becca and the Mecca. The word Mecca, Abraham made Mecca, as I firmly get this, and I was taught and I was shown this from one of the elders. The Mecca was made by Abraham for Ishmael and the descendants of Ishmael. But the Becca with a B was made for the descendants of Isaac, though, which is geographically located in the Mount Zion. But you got the Mecca. You got the Mecca that's in Saudi Arabia. Okay. So we're going to go to, let's go to chapter in the Quran. We're coming out of Quran. Then we go come to the scriptures. Then we go to the other scriptures, this is all the scriptures. We're going to go to Al-Idam, that's chapter 3 and verse 96. Try not to make real long videos. My people don't like to watch things of a long duration of time, you know what I mean? 3 and 96. Al-Idam 96. Excuse me. This is where we left off last time. Okay, we right here now. He say, now this is talking about specifically the Becca. I'm going to read it just as read. Whether it have a B or an M, I'm going to read it. And add them, verse 96, which is chapter 3, verse 96. And it reads, verily the first house of worship appointed for mankind was that at Becca. Was that at Becca. Matter of fact, I can show you this. I'm not lying. I don't know if you can all see this, but let me try to get you to see this. Verse 96, right there. That's what it say. But now, let's show you the Mecca. It's a distinguishment. And it's a lack of understanding in history by our people that's surely going to be brought out by whom? The 144,000 that are going to be coming out of the Mount Zion. We must return 3 times in a year during the 3 feasts to keep the Torah to the one creator out of Mount Zion. And tell Arad Israel, it's Mount Zion. And we need reparations and repatriation so that we may come out, not empty-handed, to give a free will offering before the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This goes to the man and the woman, especially of the black seed, or especially of the Negroid seed, or especially of the African American seed, knowing and unknowing. Knowing and unknowing. Since it's unknowing, apparently, why we are in the situation that we are in, and we've been in this situation for 400 years, and so forth, okay? So, let's go to chapter 48. We'll start at verse 24. Chapter 48. We're going to start at verse 24. Okay. Chapter 48. Verse 24. And it reads, it says, He it is who has withheld their hands from you and your hands from them in the midst of Mecca, after he had made you victors over them. Allah is ever and all seer of what you do. Now this is said with a Mecca. Let's make sure you see that. Oh yeah. And this is verse 24. And this is out of Quran. Yeah. Okay, and let's see something. Now, so we see the distinguishment, but I'm about to show you. I got something else for you. I got something else. Let's see. Excuse me. Go through the archive. Right now, what I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for right here. Okay, we're talking about reuniting the Muslims, the Christians. They are one. The traditions, we all believe in the one God power, the one God, Jehovah Allah. We all believe in him, but we all don't keep the customs and the traditions of him. You see. So what I'm saying to you, according to Psalms chapter 84, the valley of Becca, David spoke of the valley of Becca. Geographically, what I'm getting at is that the valley of Becca is geographically located in the Mount Zion. In the Mount Zion. So I'm calling, going back to what I was saying about Mr. Louis Farrakan and the call that the elders make for Louis Farrakan. Bring your followers and whomever of the world leaders. Bring your people to the Mount Zion to pray. Bring your people to the Mount Zion to pray. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 12 and verse 5. We're going to hit quite a few precepts because, I got free time right now. So I'm going to make this happen, but hopefully my stuff don't die and Satan don't come, Deuteronomy chapter 12 and it's verse 5. But unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation shall you seek, and there shall you come. And there shall you bring your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and your heave offerings of your hand, and your vows, and your freewill offerings, and the firstlings of your herds, and of your flocks. And there shall you eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice in all that you put your hand unto, and you and your households wherein the Lord your God has blessed you. And you shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Key. And you shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Every man whatsoever is right in his own eye. It's right in your own eye to celebrate Passover in Miami. You're not supposed to be celebrating and trying to cut the lamb and kill the lamb in New York. This is what the Lord was talking about in chapter 65 of Isaiah. He that killeth the lamb outside of the Mount Zion, outside, away from the house. He said, kill the lamb before the house. The house that it's talking about is the Mount Zion, where we did the feast. Where we did the feast of Fa'i Yala'i. We didn't do the feast in front of the temple. The temple is in the same spot or in the Mount Zion. I want to make a distinguishment and make it very clear. The tabernacle of the congregation is not the temple. The temple is not the tabernacle of the congregation. These are two. The temple was built on Mount Moriah, which is in the Mount Zion. The tabernacle of the congregation, the things that was taken out of the tabernacle congregation was placed aside of the tabernacle or the fort of David. It's a distinguishment, and it's an understanding the history, it's an understanding he who reads and he who goes to Mount Zion and pray and seeks shall receive the understanding. Hallelujah. Yashallah. Okay. So now I touch that real quick. I wanna touch something else. Now in the Mount Zion, we gonna touch more scriptures. We're gonna touch more scriptures, certainly. But now we rep for reparation and repatriation. I'm gonna read this to you because I held this from the Fox 4, from the Fox 4 News in Detroit, and I held this up by myself outside in -degree weather. It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold outside, and I was by myself. But anyways, this is what it reads: "We, the real Jews, we be the people." And then we got a few comments of what we be the people of. We, the real Jews, we be the people that stood in front of the United Nations as the Israelites by blood by holding the flag of the Mount Zion in Arad, Israel. We be the real Jews. We be the people that made the Haaretz magazine in Israel for the Passover of the God of the government and claims to serve. Of the God of that same government whom claims to serve the same God. We made the Haaretz newspaper. We made that. And that newspaper said, and that magazine cover said, the Messiahs are returned. Understand that. We be the real Jews. We be the people of whom the 144,000 men of the Bible spoke of. Yeshua was the one that was holding the 7 candlesticks in the vision of John, right? Yeshua was the one doing that. Holding the 7 candlesticks, and it spoke of the 144,000 men, Israelite men, not including the Gentile, not including the women of the Israelite men, not including the children of the Gentiles, not including the women's children of the Israelite nation. Understand this. We, the real Jews, we be the people of whom the United Nations said needed reparations. In 2016, United Nations came out and said already, well, hey, you about to do reparations. But is this on the news? No. But what the heads of this monopoly capital finance system, I'm real appreciative of my brother Kajuya Eliashe, who is the ambassador of the United Nations on the behalf of our people, representing the Mount Zion out of Tel Aviv, Israel. Okay, we talking about the United Nations said needed reparations for the African American descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. You watch my videos, I mention specifically. I'm gonna mention it right now even more specifically. $6 trillion. $6 trillion for the people. We talking about 32 million African Americans of the descendant transatlantic slave trade from the Americas, from the Caribbean. $6 trillion, $1 million a person. Quantitative easing is what we ask the United Nations. This is what Kajinya Eliashe, our brother, represent. Before the United Nations, whom my brother Kajinya Eliashe, my brother Dayuda, was there to actually participate in Washington. I'm sorry, that's a different event. In New York, okay? We, the real Jews, we be the people, whom blew the silver trumpets in the 7th month in Tel Aviv, Israel, Mount Zion, as written concerning the Torah. Ain't no silver trumpets been blew before the Mount Zion in more than 2,000 years. Ain't no silver trumpets been blew by the Levites in Mount Zion in over 2,000 years. It ain't happened. On the right day and at the right time in the Mount Zion in Tel Aviv, Israel. And now we asking the nations, release the debt according to the Torah. According to the Torah, release the debt of all the wars and all the finances of the war, so that the prophecy may be fulfilled. You shall turn your war utensils into plowshare. There would be no more war. And this is what we're doing right here. We're calling the Levites. If you know you're a Levite by blood and you're willing to take the DNA test, come before the Mount Zion. And come before the elders of the Mount Zion. And come and pray and keep the commandments, because we need the Levites to get this thing really right. You see? Because right now, as we know it, the Euphrates River is dried up. The Euphrates River is dried up. And we between the 6th and 7th seal right now. Let's read something real quick. I want to read something real quick. It's a way how we know where we're at in this time. Go to Amos chapter 9. Let's go to Amos chapter 9. We in the King James Bible. Okay. James Charles Stewart. We'll go to Amos. Amos chapter 9 and verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom. We're going to possess the remnant of the Edomites who are going to be there with us, whom some know as the white man, some know as the Arab, others know him as British. We can go British route. But he's mixed up and hidden in these different nations. It's not just one nation that Esau is, who was the brother of Jacob, going back to make it more simple for those who might not know. Okay? That they may possess the remnant of Edom, talking about a nation, and all of the heathen, which are called by my name, said the Most High, that does this, that doeth this, that doeth what? In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. That they may, we talking about the ones that come to Zion and pray and keep the feast, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all of the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that doeth this. That doeth this. You see? We, the real Jews, we be the people, whom blew the silver trumpets in the 7th month and Arad Israel, Mount Zion, as written in our Torah. The Torah, first 5 books of the Bible. Believe that. We be the people. We, the real Jews, we be the people whom were distorted from their homeland, language, and heritage. This ain't never happened to the Jewish. It never happened to the white man. This ain't happened to the white man. This happened to the Negro. This is black. Look how black I am, man. Look, so I'm dark skinned, man. Listen, I'm dark skinned, man. It's a difference when you look in your Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It's called Zondervan Bible Dictionary. You study your Bible, understand? When you look in your Zondervan Bible Dictionary, look at Shem, and then look under the definition of Ham. It's going to say, Ham is not the Negroes. You know the difference between a Hamite straight dark and then a Israelite or a Negro. You know the difference when you see them over here in the Americas where they walk past. We are not Africans. But our people, during the time of the Romans, Vespasian and Titus were the emperors around the time where they destroyed the temple that Herod, the Edomite, built in the time of Yeshua. And when he destroyed that temple, a lot of the Israelites or the Negroes in Israel fled into Africa, which is how we went into Africa. And then the Africans, and then the Arab and the white man, they had their share in selling the Negroes to the 4 corners of the earth. That's another story for another time. We, the real Jews, we be the people whom were distorted from their homeland, their language, and their heritage. Now, the house of Sherman, let me to tell you something. We're going to keep these laws, and we're going to rep for the Mount Zion. House of Sherman, you see, we're going to read that old Bara, and we're going to come out the law. We're going to keep these new moons, these Sabbaths, and we're going to rep, and we're going to understand something. We're going to love in the name of Emmanuel Yeshua, the Master. We're going to keep the law and the testimony. You see what I'm saying? Because it's written in the Bible, one nation, one God. You see? One nation, one God, one law. You see? So it's not enough that I read from the English, but now that I pull out the ancient Hebrew, and our people still won't. Most High call us a rebellious people. He say we most stiff-necked people in all the earth. We one of the most stiff-necked people in all the earth. It's another story for another time. We the real Jews. We be the people who translated the ancient Hebrew Torah scrolls, which the Chinese wants, in at least 10,000 of their libraries. Did you hear me? We the Jews. We the real Jews. We be the people who translated the ancient Hebrew Torah scrolls, which the Chinese wants in at least 10,000 of their libraries. Let me show you something. I'm glad I got this posted. Show you something real quick. See, in the Japanese look just like it was found, the ancient Hebrew, or the old Bara that I keep showing, was found in Japan, it was found in Greece, it was found in America. We talking about archaeology. We talking about archaeology. It was found in America, but it said the Chinese. He said they want 10,000 of their libraries. They want the ancient Hebrew Torah scrolls that was translated by the Amoriel family, which is the descendants of Joshua, the son of Nun, right now. Jeremiah 31, right now. Right now. They want that. They said they need that because they recognize that it's the same language. It was called ancient Hebrew, was called ancient Japanese during that time. When the ancient Hebrew Torah scrolls was found in Greece, it was called what? It was called ancient Greece. When it was found in America, guess what it was called? It was called ancient Cherokee. Understand that? So I'm trying to go to the
Hey, what's your business here?
Huh?
What's your business here?
Oh, I'm right there.
No, what is your business on my property?
It's your property?
Yes.
I can move.
Call the police.
Okay, you can call the police, but I can move. I'm gonna move. Okay?
I'll do that if I was you.
Okay. So we got right now the ancient Hebrew Torah scrolls that's being translated. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close this down real briefly, and we're gonna get back to you in a minute. My name's Jashar, the House of Sherman. Walla Walla. I hope y'all hear this word, man. This word, man.